Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, and welcome to another special YouTuber shoutout today. Now, today guys, I'm going to be posting a shoutout to one of my favourite YouTubers of all time, and also currently my favourite YouTuber who does reviews for certain things, and whether it be things like movies or shows, etc., or anything really in general. And this is for a YouTuber who I think is also one of the funniest YouTubers I've ever watched in my life of being on YouTube. And is also as well very good friends with, of course, a team that I support, being, of course, Geeks and Gamers. And also is also very good friends with Gary from Nerdrotic and the crew from Friday Night Tights, who he appears on every Friday. And this YouTuber I'm shouting out, guys, is none other than HeelvsBabyface, also known as Az. So yeah, now, when it comes to Az, guys, I think he's a really awesome YouTuber, and he's always such an absolute pleasure to watch, and my favourite YouTuber who does reviews, who's currently. So, you're probably wondering, how did I first discover Az? Well, the thing is that, when I first discovered him, I had no idea that he was, like, affiliated with supporting Geeks and Gamers, or Gary from Nerdrotic. And I first discovered him when I checked out his review for Falcon and Winter Soldier, the D minor show. Oh yeah, because I had no interest in watching that show, so I thought I'd watch people's reviews. I came across his because his title was very intriguing to me, because he called it a mess. So like I'm thinking, because he called it an absolute waste, so like I'm thinking, oh wow. So I watched his review and I really loved it, and he was very entertaining in the review. So I thought I'd subscribe to him and give him some love and support. Then I discovered that he was associated with Gary from Nerdrotic as part of his Friday Night Tights crew. And of course, is also very good friends with Geeks and Gamers as well, which is pretty awesome. And we're very happy because I support Geeks and Gamers, and I'm very happy that he also does too, so that's why he's got my respect for that. And you know, you probably wonder what kind of content does Az do on his channel. He does quite a lot of content, really. So, as I said before, he's my favourite YouTuber who does reviews, and he reviews lots of things, guys. Many of them are like new movies and also new TV shows. And I will also admit, guys, that whenever there's a show out which I don't want to watch, I always like to rely on his reviews for them instead. For example, guys, at the time of this recording, I'm currently binge watching his reviews for the 3rd season of Batwoman, because I have no interest in watching that show because I heard it was really bad, and I didn't like Batwoman in the crisis in the crisis known as Elseworlds in the Arrowverse. I thought she was very annoying. So I had no plans to watch the show, so I instead watched his reviews, and they've been pure entertainment. They really have been. He's been so funny. It's so funny to see him lose his mind over the show and rant about it. I find rants in general really funny, but his, in my opinion, are absolutely hilarious, and I can't wait to watch the rest of the 3rd season's reviews by him. Then I'll also be watching his reviews for that show called Naomi, because I heard that show is also really bad too, so I can't wait to see him review it with his co-host Jay in Theory, who is also an awesome YouTuber. I'd recommend you go check out as well, because she's also a very good friend with Az, and she frequently appears on his reviews to assist him in reviewing, because sometimes he calls upon her to help him out when things are too hard for him to watch. And yeah, I can't say I blame him though, because of the bad things I've heard about all these shows though. And when it comes to other things I've relied on him for when it comes to reviews, I've also relied on his reviews for certain shows I don't want to watch with regards to Star Wars. For example, I watched his reviews for Obi-Wan Kenobi, which he did with Jay in Theory co-hosting, and his reviews made me so glad that I didn't see that show, and there's no way I'm going to watch it now because of what I've heard from his reviews. And I also as well relied on his reviews with Jay in Theory when he reviewed She-Hulk as well, and I knew that she was going to be trash from the very beginning, because I heard about the awful CGI and the story and all that, and based on what he said in the reviews and what he showed when he was, you know, using photographs from the show to assist him in his reviews, yeah, it makes me even more glad that I didn't see the show now. So it makes me very glad that I instead relied on his reviews. So yeah, I didn't watch the show, but I never missed his reviews. I also as well watched his reviews for the Amazon Prime show, The Rings of Power, and or as I call it, The Rings of Wokeness, because in my opinion, it's not Lord of the Rings in any form of fashion at all, based on what I've read about it. It's so unfaithful to Tolkien's work on so many levels, and His reviews, however, were pure gold in my opinion, were so funny, and makes me so glad that I did not see the show, and I never will see the show. I'll instead only watch Peter Jackson's films that he did, of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings trilogies. There's no way I'm going to watch Rings of Wokeness, as I call it. And I also relied on his reviews as well for a recent Witcher spin-off show called Witcher Blood Origin, that mini-series, and yeah, his reviews are so funny, in my opinion, entertaining, and I'm so glad I did not see that show, because I only watched the first 2 seasons of the show so far just to support Henry Cavill, and that was it. I mean, I only got into a franchise just for Henry Cavill, and that was it, only because of Henry. And I will be watching the 3rd season only as part of my support for Henry, and speaking of Henry as well, guys, Az also has my respect for showing support for Henry, because even though, Henry is not his favourite Superman, because I'm pretty sure he said his favourite Superman is Christopher Reeve, he showed great support for Henry when he got fired by James Gunn and Peter Safran, when they rebooted the whole DCEU thing, which made me lose respect for both of them. And so yeah, because letting go of Henry was a massive mistake, because Henry is a really awesome guy. Of course, he's very intelligent, and he's a big fan of many of the franchises he plays characters for. And I showed great support for him, and yeah, which is why he has my respect for that. And I don't blame Az for not wanting to watch the 3rd season of The Witcher, because the 2nd season, in my opinion, was terrible. It was boring, and I didn't like how it did not focus on Geralt. You know, I think they really botched up a lot of the franchise. They really did, and I can't blame Henry for quitting as well after 3 seasons, because he's going to be leaving after the 3rd season, of course. And I definitely as well loved Az's video where he was talking about Henry's announcement he's going to be in a Warhammer show on Amazon, which is definitely exciting news indeed. I just hope Amazon won't botch it like they did, of course, to Rings of Wokeness, and also a show which I hate that people like being the boys. So yeah, hopefully this show will be really good, and I will definitely watch it for Henry. And I loved Az's video showing support, because Az is also a Warhammer fan as well, guys, which is pretty awesome. And another show which I definitely love his reviews for is probably his reviews for the Netflix series of Resident Evil. Now, because I've not really liked the live-action Resident Evil stuff, you know, the movies or whatever, I had no interest in watching this show, because the 6th movie with Mila Jovovich, the final chapter, killed any interest I'd having in watching more Resident Evil movies or shows in live-action, so I did not bother with the show, guys, and based on the trailer, I clocked out immediately, because it looked terrible in my opinion, like, did not appeal to me in the slightest, because in my opinion, it's not Resident Evil at all. I heard apparently it wasn't going to Resident Evil at first, but they changed it to it at the last minute or something, so yeah. And I watched Az's reviews, and they were just pure, amazement to watch. They really were. The way he ranted about them and lost his mind over it was just amazing. And the show apparently was so bad, guys, after 2 episodes, he decided to get Jay and Fury to help him out on the next episodes onward, because he couldn't do it on his own anymore. And you know what, I can't really blame him. But my favourite video that he's done is probably his review for episode 2 of the show, because it's just so funny, and when he rants about certain things, it's just so funny in my opinion, it really is. And what I love about Az, guys, is also as well how relatable he can be to fans, really, because like myself, he's a fan of lots of franchises. Like me, he collects things like figures, for example, and also Lego sets too, which is really cool, and he's shown on his videos. And even though many of the videos I've seen from him, do consist of rants, I do love how, usually at the start of them, he shows pure love for franchises, for example, Transformers. And yeah, which is pretty amazing. And same with also Predator as well, because he loves the first movie like I do. And many other things too, so yeah. And because I quit watching the MCU after I was on No Way Home, guys, I've instead been watching his reviews for stuff, and I can't say I blame him for quitting Moon Knight after episode 3. I can't blame him in the slightest. And what I've heard, apparently he's saving himself from lots of pain by not watching what comes after episode 3. And he also as well, of course, talks about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness on one of his live streams called Afternoon Tea with Az, which I definitely love to tune into. Definitely great to watch if you want to see Az live. And yeah. And he, of course, also reviewed, as I call it, For Woke and Blunder as well. Because from what I heard about it from my friends and people who've seen it, it looks like a very woke movie, in my opinion, which is why I'm not going to watch it. I think Taika Waititi went too far with that movie. And based on what I said in his review, yeah, he's definitely gone too far. So, but all in all, though, guys, I would definitely recommend you to go check out Az, because he regularly posts content regarding to news in the media or like in general, really, and it's definitely worth watching. And reviewing things is definitely so much fun to see him do as well for new things. And I definitely loved his review for the Last of Us show as well, which with James Theory assisting him, which is definitely really funny in my opinion. And yeah, and I gotta say, as you know, thank you so much for watching all these things so I don't have to. Like, you're a legend for that. And because I stopped watching Doctor Who after the abominable season of Flux, which was series 13, I've now been watching his reviews since. And based on what he's been saying in his reviews, I'm even more glad now that I stopped watching the show. So yeah, I'm a Whovian no more, but his reviews I don't miss because they're so funny and they made me so glad that I did not see it. So yeah. So thank you, Az, for watching all these bad things so I don't have to. Because, yeah, you're a legend for that. You really are. Thank you so much. And I'll definitely look forward to watching more of your content in the future. And today is actually a special day for me to do a shout-out, guys, because today is actually Az's birthday, which is pretty awesome. So, yeah, happy birthday, Az. I hope you have an amazing day, man. You get all the presents that you deserve because you're absolutely awesome. And I hope you have a great day because you definitely deserve it. You're awesome. So, yeah. Now, if you're on Twitter, guys, I'd recommend you guys go subscribe to the channel. So we'll link to the channel in the description below. Of course, HeelvsBabyface, so please go show him some love and support because he deserves it. He's awesome in my opinion and definitely worth checking out. And you can press the notification bell so you don't miss his content because I definitely don't want to miss his videos at all because he's so amazing to watch. And please be sure to follow him on his social media as well. So if you go on to any of his videos, guys, he has the links to all his social media in the description. He's also an avid gamer as well, so you can check out his live streams where he plays certain games too, if you might be a fan of, or any game in general. If you want to see gaming a lot from him, he plays lots of games on live stream with several of his friends. So definitely recommend you go check out those if you like gaming, absolutely. So yeah. Anyway, guys, this is me doing my shout out to HeelvsBabyface, also known as Az, on his birthday. So you know drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let us know in the comments what you guys think of HeelvsBabyface. If you watch his channel, let him know what you think. And please also wish him happy birthday in the comments below. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it if he's this video. And because he does occasionally see my responses to him, guys, and he also wished me happy birthday last year when I mentioned to him on Twitter, and he's a happy birthday dude to me, which is very kind of him. So yeah, thank you again for that, as you're so kind. So yeah, he's a very nice guy when you interact with him. He's really nice. So yeah, so please happy birthday in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Team Prime and subscribe and in the future. If you would like to be a member, you can join using a PC like or you can in the description, and I'll see you all later.